So today we have come up with a new topic which is basically based on input function and type conversion. First of all, we are going to talk about input function. Previously, we have seen that we can easily store anything in any variable, just like this. S equals to inside a string, CS, computer science. But what if we want the value to be provided by the user? So we will ask the user that please give us your name, and our program will simply print your name. Okay, now how to do it? All right, so we do have a function called input function. Let's see an example. So S equals to input. Okay, now inside the input function, we should have given a message that what kind of input the user should give. For example, here we are expecting name from the user, isn't it? Okay, so that is why we should give a message inside a string that enter your name. Okay, and inside a string, and obviously we have to give parentheses here. Okay, input function. All right, so inside a string, enter your name, colon, space. All right, now whenever the user will provide his or her name, okay, it will be stored in S with the help of input function. Okay, in S variable with the help of input function. Now if we want to print the name of the user, we have to write print inside the parentheses and inside the string, name of the user is colon space comma S. S basically contains the name of the user. Okay, so if we run this, okay, we can see that it's basically asking for the name of the user. Okay, so because of the input function, point to be noted. Okay, so now if the user types Alice, okay, if we put enter here, we will see that enter your name, Alice, and our program is basically printing name of the user is Alice. Okay, now reuse the code for a different user. Okay, so the name will be different. Okay, so let us write the same code here. Okay, and then run it. All right, so it's basically asking for the name again. Okay, so this time it's a different user and the name of the user is Alexa. Okay, so now if we give enter, all right, so now here enter your name is Alexa, and the program is showing now the name of the user is Alexa. But there is a limitation of input function. It basically converts each input into string automatically. Okay, for example, if we take an integer as an input, for example, the integer is 50, and it will convert the 50 into a string. Okay, the input function, it will basically convert the integer 50 into a string 1. All right, now let's see an example. So here, if we take n equals to input parenthesis, first bracket open, first bracket close, and inside this string we are giving a message enter a number. You can enter any number, colon space. Okay, all right, now let's say the user has given 50 as input. Okay, 50 as input. Now the value 50 will be stored in n with the help of input function, but as a string. Okay, as a string, remember that. Okay, now if we add another 100 with n, what will happen? So n equals to n plus 100 here. Okay, now if we print the value of n, just like this. Okay, so let's run it. All right, now it's basically demanding a number because of input function. Okay, now we will give here 50 as a number. Okay, but remember that the limitation of input function is it converts anything into string. So here the 50 will be converted into string. Now if we press enter, we are having an error here. But what is the problem? What do you think? What happened actually? Okay, so here 50 is basically converted into string. Okay, because this is the limitation of input function. It converts anything into a string. But 100, here 100 is still an integer. We cannot add different types of data. So here n is string 50, and 100 is an integer. So as you can see, type error can only concatenate string to string. Okay, so different types of data we can't add. All right, now, okay, so what should we do now? Okay, do you have any other approach? The better approach will be converting the input string, which is n, into integer, right? Okay, so the conversion is basically called casting in Python. Okay, so converting a string into integer will be a part of casting. Now what we have to do, we have to cast the input string into integer. Okay, so let's see how to do it. All right, we have to write n equals to integer and give parenthesis, integer like int, and give parenthesis. Okay, first bracket open, first bracket close, and inside parenthesis we have to write our input function. So input, okay, just like before, inside a string, enter a number, colon space. Okay, colon space. Okay, what it will do, it will convert or cast the string into integer. Okay, convert or cast the string into integer. Okay, so now if we add 100 with n equals to n plus 100, and if we print the value of n, okay, so let's see the output here. Now if we run it, okay, so the value is 50 just like before. Okay, so it's 150 now. This time we are successful to print the output and it's showing 150. So n is basically 50, 50 plus 100, it becomes 150. Okay, now let's see some other type of casting. All right, okay, so here it is basically. Okay, now here we are giving 1 to convert it into integer. Okay, so x equals to int 1. All right, x equals to int 1. Now if we print x, what it will print? It will print simply 1, because 1 is already an integer number. There is no need for casting. Okay, all right. Now if we want to cast or convert any floating point number into an integer number, what will happen? For example, if we want to cast 2.8 into an integer number, what will be the output? Let's see an example. So x equals to int, and inside int we are giving 2.8 as a value. Basically 2.8 here is a floating point number, okay, because it contains decimal point or fraction. All right, now if we print x here, let's see the output first. Okay, so we can see that we are getting 2 here. Now what is happening here? Basically int function removes the number after decimal point. Okay, after decimal point, so it basically removing 0.8 from 2.8. okay, it basically removing 0.8 and giving us only 2. Now let's try with another example. Okay, so for example, in string 3. Okay, So if we put x equals to int string 3, and if we print x here, okay, so let's see the output. If we run it, we are getting 3. So what is happening here? Int function is basically converting the string into simply an integer. Okay, now let's move on to the float. Suppose if we print float 2.8, okay, so x equals to float 2.8. okay, so then it will show us, if we print x, it will show us 2.8. okay, so basically, as you know, that it is already a floating point number. Okay, the floating point numbers contain decimal point or is a fraction number. Okay, so it's already in the floating point number, so no need to conversion, no need to do any kind of conversion. Okay, now again we try with float with string numbers. Okay, so for example, float string 4.2, float string 4.2. so let's do it. Okay, so x equals to float inside it string 4.2. okay, so what do you think, what will be the output? All right, so let's print it. So print x. okay, if you run it, it's 4.2. it's no longer a string now. Lastly, the string function str, comment in Python, starts with a hashtag. Okay, so let's see an example. So hash, here we are printing something. Okay, all right, so basically we are printing print Python is awesome. Okay, now if we run it, okay, we will see that we are getting Python is awesome as an output. Okay, but point to be noted that while running the code, the commands will not be executed. Okay, the commands will not be executed. So here we can see that the only output is showing but not the command. So command is basically helping us to understand what is happening here. Well, this is all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Keep learning and keep practicing. Thank you.